Hey everybody, I have to make some observations. Actually, this is going to be a first in a series of related comments about why certain quarterbacks perform certain ways in a given game situation or game. In this instance, I'm talking about Cam Newton, quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, against the Miami Dolphins and brilliant head coach Brian Flores. Well, let's put it this way. Cam Newton clocked in an unusual 5 for 21 passing statistic. And when you look at the film or the tape or the video, what sticks out to me is that offensive coordinator Joe Brady doesn't have a series of passes that he can dial up or call that have the certainty of a completion. Now, before you say that's impossible, I offer the swing pass out of the backfield, where the running back is still in the backfield, but either on the left or the right, depending on where the running back goes. And most coaches use that as an outlet, but Bill Walsh used that pattern as a primary receiver pattern, ran by Roger Craig. Point that I'm making is Joe Brady has to have a series of passes that he can quite literally call, regardless of who the quarterback is, and know there's going to be a completion rather than have to worry about working on timing with respect to the quarterback and the receiver. It's quite obvious he doesn't have that with Cam Newton. Otherwise, I would hope he would be intelligent enough to use them. But the problem doesn't just exist with the Panthers and Joe Brady. It's throughout the NFL. Let me give you another example. One that Drew Brees pointed out on Sunday Night Football without intending to do so. And that's when he was criticizing the drop back of filling quarterback Trevor Siemian, who's with the Saints, when he said that Trevor is going back 10 yards before he makes his throws on deep throws, and he should shorten his drop to 7 yards. He didn't say it exactly like that, but words to that effect. What I was looking for Drew to say, or I was hoping he would say, is that Trevor needed to drop back, or not so much Trevor Siemian, but Sean Payton needed to call passive plays that were 5 steps, not yards, steps. And the difference between steps and yards is dramatic. Steps come from the Bill Walsh way of teaching the short ball control passing game is expressed first in the paper, Controlling Football with the Passing Game, in 1978, as part of a talk given to the American Football Coaches Association, which I say everybody needs to read if you want to understand the basics of ball control passing and precision passing. It's easy for a quarterback, you could do it yourself, to drop back and count steps 1, 2, 3, or one step, and then what's called a hitch step, where you take that extra step to put your body into the throw. Some plays call for passes without a hitch step, right? But think about that as opposed to my saying to you, drop back a yard or 2 or 3. How do you know when you've done that? You could guess at your own steps, right? But that varies for everybody. So you might as well just be using steps anyway, right? It's easier to count. If you go back, if I say go back 8 yards, how do you know that you've gone back 8 yards except by feel? Because you have to keep your eye on, well, first of all, the formation, the keys in the opponent's defense, the receiver and where the receiver is going. You get the idea, right? You can't do all of that. You have to, and then as you're dropping back in your head, make sure that you're dropping back the same way all the time. Okay? However, if you're using steps, it's easy. You know what it feels like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or let's say in the classic 7-step drop back that Bill Walsh installed, it was 4, big steps, 3 little ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Or you can vary them. 3 big and small little. Okay? You're doing all of these so that you can size your drop with respect to the receiver's pattern. That's the idea. But it's harder to do that when I'm telling you to drop back 5 yards, and the receiver's going 10 yards. Suppose the receiver goes 10 yards and he gets there before you've dropped back, which reveals that if you're going to go up 10 yards, you need to drop back 1, 2, 3 steps, and then that's it. But you get the idea. What Drew Brees' comments on Sunday Night Football revealed to me is the Saints don't have a step-based drop back. It's yard-based. And that explains why you can have such a difference in performance between Jameis Winston, Trevor Siemian, and Taysom Hill, and any other quarterback who's going to step in. And it's really bad because it means that the Saints were really lucky in terms of getting Jameis Winston because, first of all, their passes are shorter than what was done with Tampa and the Buccaneers, but they were not based on a step system. They would just happen to be shorter. So there was room for Winston to practice his own drop back and his own delivery with receivers and work on receiver communication on his own. But there's not this standard system of 1, 2, 3 for 3-step, which is why you don't see the Saints run 3-step drop back passes, or 5-step, and so on. It's a big problem. It's very revealing. You would say, why did the Saints do well for so many years? Because they had Drew Brees. And he mastered Sean Payton's way of throwing the football, including yardage dropbacks. And as long as Drew Brees was healthy, they really didn't have to worry about, tailoring a passing game for anybody else. And they had a standard system that they could use with other quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater, for example, and they could put their sort of own staple on it with respect to footwork. But they got lucky. Because again, and I ask you to look at Bill Walsh and the success he's had with quarterbacks, if you don't have a standardized system of evaluating and teaching the passing game in terms of footwork and precision, you're going to get wild differences in performance from quarterback to quarterback. And that's true throughout the National Football League. The Falcons have that problem. You can see they have their problem with respect to head coach Arthur Smith and his offensive coordinator Dave Rangoon. The Chicago Bears have that problem. The Carolina Panthers have that problem. In fact, I'll just go so far as to say that the vast majority of NFL teams today have a problem where they do not know how to design a precision passing game. And so that's why you get these wild swings in performance. And these games, like right now with the Ravens and Mar Jackson throwing 3 interceptions, that come out that way. So that's Google.
There's a reminder for Xenophon Zena.
So you're not going to get great passing contests until precision passing is reintroduced into the National Football League. It has become sloppy. And as long as we have great athletes at the position like Patrick Mahomes throwing sidearm, there's going to be that desire to have quarterbacks that don't need to throw with respect to attention paid to footwork in the classic sense, as long as they can get away with a sidearm here and there and completion, that's all. But again, allowing that to happen causes a return to sloppy passing games and uncertain outcomes. Why something happened, as opposed, the only explanation you would have is, well, that guy could throw the ball really great. Great. It's not, well, we planned it. You want to have the certainty of being able to plan something and know that a certain outcome is going to happen, and that can still be done. Think about it. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com.